Hello student, welcome to the e-learning platform of Durham College. Myself Dr. Arundhati Deka Nath, Associate Professor, Department of Statistics. Today I am going to discuss about the non-parametric test. Non-parametric tests are also called the distribution free test because they do not assume that our data follows a specific distribution. Hence, most of the statistical tests are based on the fundamental assumption that the parent population is normal and they are concerned with testing or estimating the means and the variances of these populations. Such test, which deals with the parameters of the population, are known as parametric tests. Thus, a parametric statistical test is a test whose model specifies certain conditions about the parameters of the population from which the samples are drawn. And on the other hand, the non-parametric test is a test that does not depend on the particular form of the basic frequency function from which the samples are drawn. Non-parametric test does not make any assumption regarding the form of the population. So it is known as distribution free test. Next, when to use non-parametric test? Now, if the data type is nominal or ordinal data, then non-parametric test is the only alternative to test the hypothesis. Secondly, if the probability distribution is not normal, so that means it is either left skewed or right skewed, then non-parametric test is the only alternative that can be used for testing the hypothesis. Thus, we can conclude that if the data are nominal or ordinal, then non-parametric test can be used, and if the data types are interval and ratio type data, then we can use parametric test. So we can compare the parametric test with non-parametric tests as for parametric tests, specific assumptions are made regarding the population. But for non-parametric tests, no specific assumptions are made regarding the population. The parametric test is powerful if it exists, but these non-parametric tests are not powerful just like the parametric test. Thirdly, the test statistics is based on distribution for parametric test. But for non-parametric test, the test statistics is arbitrary. Similarly, no parametric test exists for nominal scale data, but for nominal scale data, non-parametric test exists. Again, central measure for parametric test data is mean, and for non-parametric data is median. Lastly, we can draw more conclusions from parametric tests, but for non-parametric tests, it is simplicity not affected by outliers. Now, some commonly used parametric and non-parametric tests. If the samples we are considering one sample, then if the sample is small, then we can use t-test, and if the sample is large sample, that is sample size is greater than 30, then we can go for z-test. On the other hand, if we consider two samples and if the samples are independent samples, then we can use two sample t-test, for small sample and z-test for large sample. Similarly, if the samples are not independent, that means they are paired sample, then we can use paired t-test. Just like the parametric test, some non-parametric tests are, if the samples are one sample, we are using only one sample, then there's some non-parametric tests are chi-square test, Kolmogorov-Smirnov test, run test, binomial test, and if we are considering two samples, if the samples are independent, then chi-square test of independence of attribute, Mann-Whitney U test, median test, Kolmogorov-Smirnov test, two sample tests we can use. And if the samples are not independent, that means they are paired sample, then sign, two sample sign test, Wilcoxon sign rank test, McNamara test, chi-square test of goodness of fit can be used. Thus, some of the common non-parametric tests are chi-square test, McNamara test, sign test, Wilcoxon sign rank test, Mann-Whitney U test, and among all these tests, this Mann-Whitney U test or Wilcoxon rank term test is most widely used. So for today, I am ending here. Next class, we will study about what is called the sign test. Thank you.